So one example of that in action is going back to these papers by Holland and Rice looking at Drosophila, where the male accessory gland that produces his seminal fluid produces accessory gland proteins which manipulate the female's reproductive behavior. So the exposure to these proteins will cause a female to increase her egg production on this attempt, not caring about future reproduction. And they also reduce her propensity to remate. So obviously that's beneficial to the male who's just mated with her. He wants her to dump all of her eggs right now and not save any for later, because he wants to sire them all. And at the same time, though, these proteins are toxic to females. They reduce her lifespan. So the way they detected that was by creating 2 lines of experimental evolution. So that means maintaining 2 populations of Drosophila in culture in the lab for multiple generations to look at how they evolve. And what they did was they had an M line where they forced females to mate monogamously. You're not allowed, in that line, you're not allowed to choose a mate. So males come from a wild-type population where they've been evolving normally. The females are only, they're given a male randomly, and they're not allowed to choose a male. And in the C line, you mate females within big populations of males that allow them to choose their mate. And so that's the only difference between these populations. Either you mate once, or you mate, or either you mate with no choice, or you mate with a choice. And then you take females from both lines and you mate them with males from wild-type males, males in the choice line. And they found this is a survival curve. This is the proportion of females surviving on the y-axis against time on the x-axis. And so the lower on this graph you go, the fewer females are surviving. And your monogamous female line is in black, and the choice line is in white. And you can see here there's an absolutely clear difference. The monogamous females have a shorter lifespan. So where you prevent them from exercising female choice, you're basically stopping sexual evolution in response to sexual selection in the female. You're reducing their lifespan. And so the females have to be able to exercise that choice in order to maintain their position in the arms race and evolve against these continuously evolving seminal protein toxic components of the ejaculate in the male. Similarly speaking, if you test those males that have mated in the monogamous line, those male offspring produced by the monogamous line are less competitive. They court, this is courtship rates up the y-axis, and males that come from the line where female choice has been stopped end up less competitive. They court less than males that have had to, than males from lines where the females have been allowed to choose their mates. So when you enforce monogamy, you make the female offspring live less long, and you make the male offspring less competitive.